We're gonna pick the top 10. Actually, you know what? We'll do top 20 because top 10 was just too hard to slim down. Top 20 most shocking moments in NFL history. We're not going to be ranking anything involving the deaths, injuries, or crimes related to NFL players, although they may have truly been the most shocking storylines in the sport's history. It doesn't feel right to rank them alongside what's ultimately a game. And one more disclaimer, shocking does not mean greatest, and moment does not mean game. Basically, I wanted this list to be a little different than your typical ones, so you won't find some of your typical all-time great games in it. Like 28-3, the Super Bowl III upset, and the Bills' famous comeback, because they don't really match the moment criteria. And you won't find the wide right field goal or the tackle, because although I'd rank them among the most exciting plays ever, one of them was a difficult field goal, and the other was a 10-yard do-or-die situation. So the difficulty and expected outcome takes away some of the shock value. Also, don't bother getting too into where I rank things. I realize that, number 16 could be number 5, and number 5 could be number 16. I think the video is just more entertaining if there's some sort of ranking to it.
Why's the clock stop?
Super Bowl 47 was looking like a rout, with the Ravens up 28-6 on the Niners. And then, the lights went out in the biggest game of the year. After a 34-minute delay, momentum had shifted. San Francisco scored 2 straight touchdowns and nearly pulled off an incredible comeback. The Ravens ended up winning 34-31, but that moment lives in history as one of the most bizarre situations the league has ever seen.
All of the lights on the 49ers side of the Superdome are out. You can only imagine the scramble officials are going through.
Tannehill will throw it, and this will end it.
A win would have clinched the Patriots a 10th consecutive AFC East title. And with 7 seconds to go, it was certainly looking like a lock. The 6-6 Dolphins stood at their own 31-yard line against the eventual Super Bowl champs. And somehow a multilateral play resulted in a famous one-on-one situation between Kenyon Drake and Gronk.
And this will end it after the shovel, or will it? Miami running around, circling, oh look out! Gronkowski didn't have the angle! Touchdown! 20-14, 10 seconds left.
With the Raiders trailing by 6 and the ball on the Chargers 14, quarterback Kent Stabler looked like he was about to get sacked, but he fumbled the ball forward. Then running back Pete Banaszak tried to recover and also fumbled forward. Eventually, tight end Dave Casper recovered it in the end zone for the win, and after that year, the NFL banned fumble advances.
Stepping up and throwing deep down the far sideline.
The Broncos were a 9-point favorite in this game. Joe Flacco was known as Flunko at the time because he could never do it in the playoffs. And now in Denver, he's down by 7 with 42 seconds left in the game. And then, the mile-high miracle happened. The Ravens went on to win in overtime and the Super Bowl too.
Flacco stepping up and throwing deep down the far sideline. To the end zone, touchdown, Jacoby Jones!
Center, Obamanu goes in motion right to left, turn and handle into left side.
Record-wise, this Seahawks team was the worst to ever make the playoffs. At 7-9, they somehow won the division and got to host the 11-5 Saints. With just minutes left in the game, they needed a big play to seal the win. And I gotta say, this play gets extra points in the shocking category for actually sending tremors through the Pacific Northwest.
Finds a little bit of a hole, keeps his legs moving, 45, he's on the run, Lynch, 40, pushes the man, 35, look at him go, he's down to 20, 15, he could go, touchdown Seahawks!
2 seconds left.
In 1975, the Cowboys found themselves on the 50-yard line, down 4, with just 37 seconds left in the game. And they decided to ad-lib the play. Roger Staubach found Drew Pearson down the sideline for the go-ahead touchdown. And after the game, Staubach made the Hail Mary phrase famous.
He is going to throw. There's that. He got it. First Jordan, then Gretzky, then Elway, now this, which unlike the others was completely unexpected.
In 1999, Barry Sanders surprisingly announced his retirement with several years left on his contract. Even though he was healthy and approaching Walter Payton's all-time rushing record, he was too frustrated with the management of the Lions. I wanted to include one retirement on this list, and I feel like this one was arguably the most shocking.
Quick snap. Breeze.
This play may rank number 1 on an all-time anger list. On a 3rd and 10 with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line, Nickel Roby-Coleman commits an obvious penalty. No flag is thrown, Rams win in overtime, and some Saints fans attempt to sue the NFL.
Breeze. Pass is incomplete, no flag.
They squib this one to prevent a run back.
On November 17, 1968, NBC executives had originally planned for the film HEIDI to begin at 7 p.m. But with the Jets-Raiders game running long, they decided to delay the start time. Unfortunately, the phones were jammed and they couldn't get their message to the technicians. So the entire eastern half of the country was unaware that the Raiders actually scored 2 last-minute touchdowns.
He fumbles the ball, and Oakland has it for a touchdown.
Draw to Biner.
With just over a minute left in the AFC Championship, it looked like the Browns were going to tie it. Running back Ernest Biner bounced left and charged into the end zone without the ball. Broncos DB Jeremiah Castile said there was no way he was going to be able to tackle Biner, so he went for the strip and sent the Broncos on their way to the Super Bowl.
Draw to Biner. Ernest Biner. Fumble the ball, and Denver has recovered. Oh, my.
Money talks, and nothing is sacred. Such is the state of pro sports in the 90s.
Let's stick with the Browns' misery theme. In 1995, longtime Browns owner Art Modell announced the Browns would move to Baltimore in the middle of the season. Fans protested the move and wore shirts that read Muck Fodell. Cleveland tried to keep the team but could only hold on to the name. And eventually they got a new Browns franchise.
Their own 39, it's 3rd down. 3 receivers right, Thielen left. Marshawn Lattimore 12 yards from Adam.
Case Keenum and Stephon Diggs may no longer play in Minnesota, but they'll of course always be remembered for this play. With the ball on the Vikings 39 and just 10 seconds left, Keenum could only go to the sideline because they had no timeouts. The hope was to complete a pass, get out of bounds, and set themselves up for a field goal. Then, the miracle happened.
Steps up in the pocket. He'll fire to the right side. Caught by Diggs. Stay up. Oh my God! 30! No touchdown! Are you kidding me? It's a Minneapolis miracle!
31-31. Matt dodged the punt. Gets a high snap. Gets it away.
First in 1978, all the Giants had to do was lie down with the ball. The Eagles had no timeouts and New York could clock out. But instead, they hand the ball off. It's a fumble and Herm Edwards returns it for a game-winning touchdown.
There is nothing the Eagles can do. And Pizarczyk fumbles the football. It's picked up by Herm Edwards. 15, 10, 5, touchdown Eagles. I don't believe it.
Then in 2010, the Eagles were down by 21 in the 4th quarter. They managed to tie it up. The Giants suddenly can't score, and with 14 seconds left, they have to punt. Deshaun Jackson fumbles it, recovers, and somehow takes it all the way for the win.
At the 35, fumbles it, picks it up, looks for running room. He's at the 40, he's at the 45, midfield, he's at the 40, he's let it go! Deshaun Jackson!
Hey, pay attention now, one quick thing. We're gonna start this half kicking off. All right, ambush.
Down 10-6 in the Super Bowl, the Saints decided they needed to steal a possession. So on the kickoff, they run the play ambush, a surprise onside kick to begin the second half. Head coach Sean Payton told the special teams that they were going to run the play the night before. After the recovery, Drew Brees drove down the field and New Orleans took their first lead of the game.
Onside kick
to start the second half. And the ball bounces off the hands of the Colts. And it looks like the Saints had it for a second.
This play call has a chance to be remembered as one of the all-time greats, just going for it.
A trick play for the ages on 4th and goal in the Super Bowl. The now famous Philly special. Running back Corey Clement takes the snap, reverses it to tight end Trey Burton, who then throws it to quarterback Nick Foles. It led the Eagles to their first Super Bowl victory and already has a statue in Philadelphia.
And they're going to snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws, caught, Foles, touchdown.
Oh my goodness. The Bears' season's going to end on a double doink.
Bears kicker Cody Parkey had already hit the uprights 5 times in the 2018 season. So when he lined up for the game winner with the season on the line, it was the only thing going through anyone's mind. I guess you could argue that it happened so many times before that it'd be expected. But statistically, the chances of this happening again are probably lower than any other play on this list. And Parkey managed to hit the metal twice.
And, he hits the upright again! That's impossible! Butler, a rookie free agent out of West Alabama.
The Seahawks had the ball on the 1-yard line, 2nd and goal. The clock is running, 26 seconds left in Super Bowl 49. Marshawn Lynch is in the backfield, but it's Russell Wilson throwing. And the undrafted rookie Malcolm Butler picks him off to win the game. Everything about that play was unexpected, except for maybe Butler himself, who got the play wrong in practice and knew he had to adjust.
Play clock at 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal. Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet.
Perhaps the greatest play in the history of the league. Eli Manning escapes a trio of Patriots rushers and uncorks one to David Tyree, who somehow glues the ball to his helmet with Rodney Harrison all over him. And that game-winning catch over the undefeated Patriots would be Tyree's last catch ever in the NFL.
Manning stays on his feet, airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree.
Last chance for the Steelers. Bradshaw trying to get away.
With a 4th and 10 and just 22 seconds left, Terry Bradshaw's last-ditch effort appeared to be broken up, but somehow Franco Harris snatched the ball off the rebound just before it hit the ground. He then ran for the end zone and mayhem ensued as the Steelers got their first ever playoff win.
And his pass is broken up by Tatum. Tipped off. Franco Harris has it. And he's over.
Do the Titans have a miracle left in them in what has been a magical season to this point?
The Bills had just scored a go-ahead and presumably game-winning field goal, but on the ensuing kickoff, the Titans had a plan. The play was called Home Run Throwback. Only problem was the Titans' primary and backup receiving option for the play were out. So head coach Jeff Fisher pulled Kevin Dyson aside during the TV timeout and told him what had to be done to set them up for a field goal of their own. In the end, Dyson didn't exactly follow the instructions.
O'Neal at the 25, pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson.
He's got something.
30,
He's got
40,
something.
50,
He's got it.
40,
He's got it.
End zone. Touchdown Titans. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle. Tennessee has pulled a miracle.